Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. Thanks for watching. My name is Rich Tehrani. This week we are in Boston, Massachusetts, and we are touring some of the technology companies in the New England area and learning what's new, what's exciting, and what they're up to. On our program today is Noah Rafalko. He's the CEO of TSG Global. Noah, how are you?
I'm wonderful.
So thanks for being on the program, and I was hoping that you would tell us a little bit about your company, please.
Absolutely. Well, we're a technology leader in both voice and SMS technology to enable regular telephone numbers with SMS texting capabilities. So that's what we are focused on. So
you
technology.
say regular telephone numbers. Does that mean a home phone over the PSTN?
Well, actually, it would be involved with IP telecommunications. So
okay.
Any IP telephone number or DID would be allowed to SMS to and from all cellular networks in the United States and beyond.
Okay, so there's a gateway that works via SIP maybe and connects between?
Actually, it is provided through a typical gateway, being an SMPP gateway, which is short message peer-to-peer protocol. So what you do is you can set it up through HTTPS, or you can set it up through the SMPP.
Okay, and so with this technology, do you sell it to carriers to sell to end users, or do you going directly to end users?
All of the above, actually.
Okay.
We actually see that there is a very big need in the enterprise space, and as you can see, the evolution of telecommunications evolved, just as we saw pagers to cell phones to smartphones. We now see texting coming from that social environment, tying the bridge into the interaction process between consumer and vendor.
Absolutely. Well, I have said for years that it would be awesome to have home phones that could do SMS texting with mobile phones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to figure out why that hasn't happened. I mean, I know that mobile devices have found their way in the home as a replacement, but not all home phones have been replaced. There are people still who have landlines
Right.
would love to be able to SMS, right?
Right. Well, imagine that not only can you look at it that way, but you can also say, well, what if a family doesn't need voice? What if they primarily use their voice on their cellular units? Then you can have a text-only service at home.
Right.
So that's absolutely available
Is it
today.
cost-effective to do that?
Oh, much more so than short codes. And as you can see, the industry as a whole, enterprise, Fortune 500, Fortune 5 companies have embraced short codes, which have a lot of limitations, and the long codes tie it all together, being a DID-enabled SMS service.
Fantastic. So how long has the company been around?
Oh, we've been in business quite a while. We started as a telecommunications consulting for data and voice and migrations, and that was almost 15 years ago. And we morphed into a carrier based on a client's need, and from that point, we've been in the VoIP space since 2003. So now we're into a whole new realm of bringing the latest technology to unify it all together, being that SMS.
And if I'm a company right now watching this and I'm thinking of calling you, and I'm not sure if you can help, why don't you give us some of the guidelines in terms of who would make a good customer for you, or who you can help?
Excellent. Well, it could be a service provider, an application provider who can build a web-based application, any cable operator, or end user for that matter.
How about an app that lives on a smartphone?
Absolutely. In
Okay.
fact, there are several out there taking advantage of this technology today.
Okay.
So it really comes into finding the right communications vehicle between the entity, our client, and their end user. So we always try and see through our clients to their end users. And even if it's in the enterprise space or in the small business space, it really comes into play that you have to be able to have that nimble ability to provide that service all the way downstream.
Now, speaking of being nimble, I mean, recently there's so much happening in the messaging space. Well, Twitter is not recent, but I mean, it's become a phenomenon, obviously, in the last 5 years. Facebook also with their messaging service.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see any tie-in between what's happening with those two particular services, or any other, maybe Web 2.0 or social networking type services, and the kinds of things that you're doing?
Absolutely. In fact, we've been engaged by multiple entities that have a group texting methodology. Mm-hmm. And if you look at any kind of social media today, it's all based on group metrics. I mean, our whole society is based on a snack-based interaction process. And as you can tell, Facebook is that kind of snack-based. I just put a post on here. I want to share it with my friends. They use short codes in some cases or push notifications to smartphones. But if you look at that solution, you can enable any phone number to replace that short code just for that purpose. So the social interaction piece of this is the most phenomenal increase that I've ever seen in any technology since the internet started.
Absolutely.
Really. So if you look at how many messages were sent last year alone, I believe it was over 1.4 trillion messages.
Wow.
Which is amazing. So 3 to 1 today, as it stands, 3 messages, text messages to every voice call already happens in the U.S., and it's growing exponentially.
Fantastic. Well, good luck taking advantage of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.